All right. This was an episode. Okay. We're doing something a little bit different tonight because usually you and I watch the episode at the same time. And then after it's done, we would talk about it a little bit, get our thoughts and opinions. But this time you watched it today, Wednesday, and
No,
I watched it
I
last
watched it
night.
yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I
don't
was
know.
there yesterday.
Okay. All right. Never mind, Keith. All right. Anyway, so my point is, we haven't had a chance to discuss it, right?
Yeah, because, last night I was up doing an interview at 8:15.
Okay.
And woke
Welcome
up
to
at
Father Son
4:30.
Galaxy. This is Kerwin. This is Keith.
Sleepless.
Thank you so very much. All right. Let's just stick to the topic. All right. So we're going to talk about episode 6, Far, Far Away. Okay. What are your thoughts? You just want to just dive right in? Any particular point you want to?
Let's just get in.
Okay, let's just get in. Okay,
Let's do this.
All right. Thrawn. Lars Mikkleson finally appears.
He's here.
Okay,
He's real.
Yeah.
And he's back.
Yes, I loved his introduction. I love seeing
the One Piece is real, man.
I love seeing the Chimaera. That Star Destroyer is huge. I love seeing the army of night troopers. I think that's what they're called. We're going to talk a little bit more about them. And then they're chanting his name, Thrawn, 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 and he's walking down the
aisle,
or the landing platform,
aisle.
And he's facing Morgan Lisbeth and their Shin there.
Yeah, so Morgan Elsbeth and Balin and
yes,
Shin. They're all there.
Yes, right. Okay.
I love how Shin just has this thing against witches. Like, whenever there's a witch, she's like, oh, great, there's more of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the Nightsisters.
I can't tell if she's Russian or not.
No, I don't think she has an accent.
It turns on and off.
Okay. All right, so here's where we are. So we're on a planet called Peridea, right? Peridea? All right. Yeah. Apparently, this is the ancient homeworld of the Dathomirian, and we know that Morgan Elsbeth is from, or her ancestors are from Dathomir.
So she's a survivor. They even address her as a child of the Night Watch.
Yes, right. So, and we get to see 3 Nightsisters. That was pretty cool. Seeing them in person, they're all dressed up in red. We
actually saw Nightsisters in live action, guys.
Yeah, how about that? That is awesome.
Awesome.
That is awesome. And let me talk about Peridea real quick. Now, Balin mentioned something about the space whales, where when they're heading to Peridea, at some point they pass on.
I don't think that's how that works.
Okay. Not sure why, but that's sad to hear that most of these Purgos don't make it all the way, or maybe part way, and then I don't know what happens. They run out of steam, or run out of energy. What do you think?
That's not how the Purgos work.
Okay, all right. Yeah, do you have a point? No.
So you just drop dead on this planet.
Okay, I'm just going by what Balin said.
And okay. Balin's the most reliable source of information.
Okay. All right. Well, getting back to Thrawn. All right. So now what I like. Okay.
I find that hard to believe.
Okay. All right.
It's literally all I'm saying.
I get it. All right. What I like about Thrawn is Lars Mikkleson, once again, he does the voice, that wonderful voice.
Perfectly.
Distinctive. And he has a theme.
You just think,
Thrawn has a theme, right? You hear this organ music that plays whenever he is on the screen.
Of course it had to be organ.
Yeah, it's just something, ominous and dark, and like you would hear something out of a horror movie. Yeah, so it was wonderful. It was excellent. He looked great. Had on the blue, he was a chiss.
They did the blue right on the cat babe.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right. And then let's talk about the night troopers. I don't know for sure if they're actually human beings underneath that armor, or are they
I think
maybe
they're human.
spirits that the Nightsisters conjured up?
I doubt they're spirits.
You think they're real people underneath?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting that he created that kind of army in exile. Like, where did he? If they're humans, where did they come from?
Well, I mean, considering the fact that Thrawn is piloting the Chimaera, I feel like at some point he probably left to go gather his masses.
Okay. Okay.
Or maybe he sent out a call and they answered. Honestly, he couldn't have left because people would have reported seeing Grand Admiral Thrawn's ship,
Mm-hmm.
which we never hear. We only hear there's rumors and whispers of Grand Admiral Thrawn being alive, but we never hear that, oh my god, somebody saw the Chimera outside of, I don't know, the Coruscant system. Nobody said that, which makes me think that maybe there was some sort of distress call that he put out or something to gather himself an army. All right, Alex.
Yeah, he mentioned that they could be the undead.
I doubt that.
I heard that as well, but I think is that from a novel or is it
Yeah,
from
I don't think
a
they're
video game?
I don't think they're undead.
Okay, but
I
that's
feel
not
like
your
that would be
opinion. Okay.
super like Star Wars doesn't really have undead
Mm-hmm.
unless you count the Nightsisters, but that's like witchcraft. That's different.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about the
So
night.
like zombies, that would freak with Star Wars on so many levels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I want to talk about the Night Sisters because I find that they make an odd pair or an odd ally for Thrawn. So if
Yeah, I thought he didn't like Jedi or witchcraft.
well,
Isn't he the same dude who literally gave us the excellent line of "What Jedi devilry is this?"
right, exactly. So
I don't think he
in
likes
case
him.
you didn't see our episode last Sunday where we do breakdown or discussion about Thrawn, one thing that we do know or he doesn't understand very well is how the Force works. He's not Force sensitive.
That's
right?
how the Force works.
Yeah. And I don't think he trusts anyone with the Force. Well, Jedi, definitely. We know that.
No,
he has
because
no love for Jedi.
he's a known adversary of Jedi.
Yeah.
They oppose his views, and therefore they're his enemy. They'd be his enemy regardless of if they were Force sensitive or not. Being Force sensitive, if anything, just gave him something extra to hate about them.
Yeah.
And I think that's very cool.
Mm-hmm. And the Nightsisters, well, so I'm wondering how did they get together? The only thing I can think of, Thrawn likes to have his allies, just like
He
the
likes to have
Empire.
people in his corner.
When he was looking for an ally to help his people, to help his cause, he goes big. He went to the Empire. They were going to be an ally. It was going to be the Republic at the time. That didn't work out, but the Empire apparently seemed to work for him. And now he's got the Nightsisters, and I wonder if it's because maybe he had no choice because this is their ancient home planet, the Dathomiri's, and the Nightsisters have the capabilities or the night magic or the dark magic that he's looking for. But I really don't think he trusts the Nightsisters. I don't think he has any love for them as well. And as you know, he actually grouped them. We were talking about a couple of things. One,
it's the Bombad Cast.
Hey, my dudes. All right. Bombad Cast is here. Thank you.
Scotty.
That's right. Thank you so much. Latoya, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Hello. Michelle. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. So again, Thrawn does not trust Jedi. And I don't see him having that much faith in the Nightsisters either because
honestly,
they're still Force, right?
They're
using
still witchcraft, so
right.
If anything, that would give them something extra to criticize them for.
Right.
But on the other hand, if he's able to make peace with them, then that means I think Thrawn's playing his cards right.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever allies he could get, like an enemy of an enemy is a friend.
That's
so whatever
right.
allies he can get that are enemies of the Jedi, he'll go for the powerful. And because he goes for the powerful, that means that he won't have a target on his back. He'll instead have an alliance.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that alliance, he'll be even more powerful than he already was.
Right, right. So the Nightsisters, made some mistakes along the way, as we'll find out.
We
One
should do an
thing.
episode on them.
Well, yeah, we'll do some more,
Yeah,
historical.
those episodes of the Clone Wars were always dark.
Right.
Fine.
One thing that they didn't do right was they didn't warn him about this Jedi that was coming. Right. They didn't warn him about Sabine. Sabine had no idea. Sabine. Well, they sensed that she might be.
I mean,
a Jedi.
Ahsoka's coming.
Right. Yeah. Well. Okay. Yeah. I was going to get to that part, but
I love how one of the Nightsisters, we just had to word bomb in that Sabine's force sensitive. It's like, yeah, that one reeks of Jedi.
Right.
And then they tied her up and threw her in the Rancor pit.
Exactly.
Where she was promptly devoured by Rancors. The end.
Yeah, right. We wish, right?
Return of the Jedi. Not really.
No, of course.
At least she got better in this episode.
I just kidding. Well, okay. Let's
move on.
Before
she got fed to the Rancors.
All right. Before she got fed to the Rancors. Okay. So now, all right. Last week we didn't see Sabine at all. Right? It was all about Anakin and Ahsoka.
It was
now
good.
We're back. Yes, it was an excellent episode last week.
Gold.
So now we're back to Sabine. All right, and she's still on her trek looking for Ezra. What do you feel now about Sabine? I mean, we know. I think you still feel the same way. What she did to Ahsoka was not okay. Was not.
She doesn't even want to talk about it with Ezra.
Right.
And Ezra, it looks like he looks different now. Like he hasn't shaved.
We're jumping to Ezra. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, we saw Ezra this episode too.
Yes, Ezra appeared in the episode. Okay.
Like he hasn't shaved, and he lost that classic orange and yellow outfit from Rebels.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, right? He's not going to have just one outfit.
Would you rather wear the same clothes for 10 years or not?
Okay. No, of course not. All right, so Sabine. So at the beginning of the episode, Ahsoka is talking to Hu Yang, and Ahsoka is starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together, right? And she now realized that, okay, well, I think Sabine did me dirty. She left by her own will. She went with the bad guys. Did she even think about what the consequences were? Well, no, of course not. The only thing that's important to Sabine is finding Ezra. So when we were talking about this last week, like, I don't know if this relationship between Ahsoka and Sabine being a Jedi master and apprentice is going to work out, right? So, okay, all right. So again, we think Sabine did not make the right choice. All right, let's go back and talk about Ezra. Okay, so now we're on this planet. Okay, we're on the planet. Sabine is given an animal to ride, a howler.
A howler, as
yes,
it's called, yeah.
Yes, gives her a howler, and she goes out.
Yep. And they send her off, assuming that she's not going to survive. There's an ambush that happens later on.
Right.
And Sabine fights them off, of course. She's the main character. They're not going to get rid of her.
Right.
Or a main character.
Mm-hmm.
And Thrawn's like, we'll let you go. We'll let you live. But once I leave, you're stranded here forever, ever, ever, ever.
Right. Yeah. Even Thrawn made the point, okay, all right, well, you made the decision to free me in order to see your friend, which is not a smart move. But if you want to, find out if he's still alive, you want to go look for him, there's your animal, take the route out there. And then what he does when she's off,
he sends on a ride, and Shin to go after
Balin and Shin, right.
And Thrawn's smart because he promised Sabine that she would be able to go find Ezra. Mm-hmm. But what he didn't say is that Balin and Shin would be following her.
Right.
Because Shin says, I thought you nodded your word. And he's like, well, I am. She'll be given the opportunity to find Ezra. Mm-hmm. And then you'll go in and get rid of him.
Yeah, right.
Get it done.
So Balin made a promise to Sabine that he was going to help her find Ezra.
Thrawn.
Which, what did I say?
Balin.
It's fine. Made a promise to to help her find
Thrawn
Ezra.
made the promise.
No. We're going back to the episode
Oh,
before, the two
episode
episodes before,
4.
where Balin said that he would help her find Ezra if she
Come
comes with
with me
him.
willingly.
Exactly, willingly. Right. So he is
As
keeping
she
to his
did,
promise.
they put her in handcuffs.
Right. Yeah, but
In a cell.
yeah.
Like, I love how they said, come with me willingly, and then threw her in a jail cell.
Yeah, of course. She's a prisoner. And she knew that. I don't think it mattered to her. She just wanted to get closer to Ezra.
She just wants her boy.
All right. Yes, all right.
She wants her brother.
Okay, so let's move on to Ezra. All right. So this is nice that this was we needed this episode after last week's episode because we needed a big reveal. And not only did we get a big reveal, we got 2, right? So not just Thrawn. We get to see Ezra. All right.
Ezra,
played by Iman Esfandi. All right, and it was a cool moment.
Well,
yeah, I thought it was a really cool moment. I loved the music, and when they met, you just had that emotion.
I don't think Ahsoka has dropped the ball once in any category.
All right, we're talking about Ezra and
no, but I'm saying the show in general.
Oh,
I don't think they've dropped the ball once in any category.
Got it. All right.
Sabine.
Do we want to go to Q&A? Okay, let's go to Q&A. All right, what do we have here? Okay, Eric Elliott. I really like this episode, but it's not my favorite episode so far in the series. All right, that's cool.
I think it's my favorite episode.
Is it your favorite episode? All right. So again, I was getting at the beginning that, we didn't really get the chance to talk about it. So I'm just waiting to hear what you have to say, which is cool. Yes. And then we have the Bombad cast. The entire episode was incredible. Legit felt like full-on fantasy. Yes, it did. Yeah.
All right. So back to Ezra.
Yes, let's talk about Ezra.
What were you saying?
No, we're going to talk about Ezra. Oh well, as she was looking for Ezra, she ran into some nomads, some trouble with some inhabitants there.
Yeah, she kind of had a fight.
Right. Yeah.
But she swiftly dispatched them.
These bandits, did they give you the impression? Did they remind you of the Nile? I don't know, something about their costuming,
gear, the helmets,
the helmet,
the red and black touches.
Okay,
they did remind me of the Nile a bit.
Okay, all right, To me, they did, yeah. All right, so then when they meet Sabine,
you mean Sabine and Ezra? So it was the best moment I think we've captured on screen.
Okay.
And Ezra says, I knew I could count on you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so touching.
Yeah,
don't make me put on the waterworks.
Yeah. It was nice.
We got Ezra back, guys.
Yeah. And what was interesting, I guess she was just so overwhelmed by seeing him. He's asking questions. Well, how'd you get here? Well, what'd you do with that animal? And what's going on? And she really didn't get the chance to tell him, not that she didn't get the chance, she didn't want to tell him anything. She just said, well, let me just enjoy this moment. But so much has happened since he's been gone, right? It's hard to believe, there's, he's missed the Battle of Yavin, the Battle of Hoth and Endor.
Battle of Endor.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And
sheesh.
Yeah. And then,
he has been out of it so long.
And what was Ezra's goal, right? He wanted to just get Thrawn far away, right? So he wouldn't be a threat to anyone, he did.
Kind of wanted Thrawn out the way, but
yeah,
the only thing is he's rising to power.
Well, right, that's the point, and she's the reason for his rise to power. Right?
I will say something.
Yeah,
I think I enjoyed how they got that. Instead of tarnishing Ezra's sacrifice, they did kind of undo it, but they didn't do it in a annoying way like they did when they brought back Palpatine. They did it in a plot moving forward way, and Ezra will probably get the closure he wants in the final episode by taking down Thrawn once and for all type way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like Disney plot.
No, I get it.
This is Disney.
This is Disney. All right.
Hopefully it doesn't turn out like a Darman video.
Okay. All right.
Do I have to explain that? Or?
You probably, to me, yes.
All right.
What is that?
So, Darquavius Man, a man of the Dar variety. Also,
are you making this up?
No, also known as Darman. This dude, he makes the life lesson videos. on YouTube,
Okay.
and it's criticized by the likes of August the Duck and Waffles and Riff.
I don't believe this
So
story.
he makes life lessons, and they usually tend to be crazy. Like kid does 100 dares for $100, lives to regret it, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like kid does dangerous challenge for $10,000, or TikToker tries insane TikTok challenge.
Mm-hmm.
He lives to regret it, barely. Like stuff like that.
And how does that?
But the plot
Okay.
always ends in happy ending. The main antagonist loses everything, and the main protagonist gets like a Lamborghini, $100,000, the best gaming setup in the world, 15
Yeah.
million subscribers, all that stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like a fairy tale.
Most of that happens in the narration.
Yeah.
Like bro shooting a TikTok video, and then 10 seconds later, Frank shot a TikTok, and guess what happened afterwards? He got 15,000 subscribers every hour up until he reached 10 million subscribers and started making lots of money on every street, like stuff like that.
Okay. Let's go to Q&A. All right, we have for Q&A. Okay. Alex says, "Hello, Alex. Sabine definitely made the wrong choice. But having lost her family and her home after Ezra left a message for her, I think it's understandable. But I don't think Ezra will be happy. No. I think Ezra will not be happy about finding out the deal Sabine made. Not sure if he'll be empathetic or blame her, but I don't think he'll be happy.
I think Ezra is probably going to be both. Like, we know Ezra's an empath, honestly, but, like, I really don't think he's going to be that upset, but he would in a way. Because I feel like Ezra would value his friends' lives over his own, and he'd be upset at Sabine, like, you valued my life over Ahsoka's, and Huyang's, and Hera's, and Jason's. You went all the way over to here, and you got captured just to find me when you should have been saving Ahsoka and keeping the ghost safe and stuff like that.
What was heartbreaking for me is when he says to her, "I'm so glad you found me. I can't wait to go home." She's well, she had nothing to say.
But what's home?
Well, I think back on Lothal maybe.
Well, the ghost.
Well,
Well,
okay,
again,
the ghost, yeah,
she
and
did
that's
just
a part.
kinda
That's a
move
part
in.
of his
She
life.
kind of moved into his tower.
Well, that doesn't matter. I mean, he's been away from this
Bishop!
galaxy. He's been away from this Ken Bishop. Okay. He's been away from this galaxy, all right, his galaxy, for a very long time. All right. So he's ready to go back home. So Ken, thank you, Ken. Ken says, "I think this show is the deepest mythical references to other films, philosophical, etc. That's what we've seen so far." Absolutely agree with that.
Ken from Barbie, good to see you again.
Oh boy. Okay.
Boy, what was that?
No. You're making fun of the man's first name, Ken.
It's a good first name.
It is a good first name. Okay. All right. Gotcha. So the Bombast Scotty says you sound like all of his students, all wrapped into one.
Is that good?
No, it's. I'm sure it is. Yeah. All right. So, what do you think of the noties? Those that have like
cute crab
turtles,
things.
crab turtles, or whatever you want to call them. What do you think?
They were cool. I like them.
I
don't think there was anything wrong with them. They were just kind of Ezra's caretakers.
Well, yeah, I think so. So I saw a couple of things from this scene when Sabine encountered them. It did remind me of the Ewoks, when Leia met Wicket, I think it was, for the very first time. And I'm listening to the music that's playing. It's this kind of light, upbeat music, and which is fine.
Of course it is.
Yeah. But
because it's a tiny, scared critter.
Well, right, yeah.
They did the same thing with the Ewoks, except this time it was because of the Howler, and I'd be scared of that Howler too.
Yeah.
That Howler was licking his lips like...
Yeah. So I'm going to bring them back up again a little bit later when we get to the next topic. But I also, I get the vibe of a Jim Henson puppet.
I like those crickets.
Yeah, I mean...
Jim Henson cricket.
So there was a movie back in the 80s called Dark Crystal.
I saw that.
And these characters remind me of that. It just looked very,
Eh.
it's not computer generated. It looks like puppeteers or whatever they were using. Let me know what you think, everyone out there. So Fanatics, thank you. Little Ewokish. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so I got the Jim Henson vibe from these things. I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. And, who knows? When you have an army of those little things, they may look harmless, but when it's
I'm sure
time
they
to
can
battle,
fight.
you never know. You never know what they can do. It's
Or
the same
just
thing with the
pop in their
Ewoks.
shells.
Right. They may have some,
Like the Mario turtles.
they may have shells under those shells,
Just
like
be
some
like,
type of military. Yeah, you don't know. But
oh my god, that was the most video game sound I've ever made.
yeah, that's fine.
I'm never doing that again. I just went.
All right, so I don't know what's going to happen to Ezra. Is he going to go home? Not anytime soon.
Sabine's got to get rid of all her stuff first. She got to put that in Home Depot boxes and move it
Well,
out before Ezra can get back home.
Or does she got to move out once Ezra goes back home? Do you think he won't allow her to stay? They probably got room for 2 people to stay. Okay, all right. Ezra's not that cruel. I mean, he was gone for a while, so she said, "Hey, I was keeping your place, watching it for you until you got back home." All right.
And I'm sure he'd be like, get out and give me my lightsaber back.
Oh, right. Lightsaber.
Well, yeah, she's got to hold on to his lightsaber for 10 years. So I'm thinking maybe, either Ezra will get his back and Sabine will craft a new one, or Sabine will keep his and Ezra will craft a new one.
That's an excellent point. I think Ken says the Nodis are the seemingly insignificant creatures that are more important than they appear. Exactly right. I think they're more than meets the eye. They may look harmless, but they have an army. So they may bring some primitive weapons, just like the Ewoks. The Nodis are also kind of sort of like the Fraggles. Yes, Jim Henson, Fraggle Rock. It's another TV series back in the day. Fraggle Rock. Okay. All right. Okay.
Interesting.
Yes, Eric said they made me think of rock trolls from Frozen. What were you going to say?
I just said interesting.
Okay. All right.
Trade offer accepted.
Where do you see that?
NPC.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Non-player character.
Okay, all right.
The stuff in video games. How I'll try to explain it to you. Okay. You know that one stranger or that one person you don't know at lunch who gives you their chocolate milk because they didn't want it?
But stranger would give you like another student?
Yeah, like another kid at school who gives you chocolate milk.
Okay.
But they make you pay a quarter. That's an NPC. They're just
trying to make a buck.
No, not really. The point is NPCs sell stuff. They're like merchants. They're either merchants or they just kind of do nothing. The point about being an NPC is like they don't have a life.
Okay.
So that's something an NPC would say, like trade offer accepted. Are we going too slow?
Let's move on to Balin and Shin, because I think that this episode, Balin and Shin intrigue me more and more. Balin more so. By the way, Ray Stevenson is riveting to watch, to listen to what he says, to see what he does.
I like him. He seems like an eloquent villain.
Yeah, I like that.
Not the hellbent on destruction. No. I'm gonna get rid of everything and everyone in your life and nobody's spared type villain. He's more the you set your boundaries, I'll set mine, and we'll play a fair game like a chess opponent, rather than somebody who's trying to get rid of you.
Yeah. I
like that.
It seems like every week we're learning more about who he is and what he's looking for. Not quite there yet, but I think this episode is the most revealing of where he's trying to go, what he's trying to get.
By the way, remember that one scene that we pointed out in the trailer where Ahsoka's blade went straight through Balin?
Yes.
I don't think that ever happens.
Well, I mean, we got 2 episodes left.
I think the blade just went past him.
Okay. All right. I don't know if people on the
I'll have to rewatch that and see if she's using. I'll have to rewatch that and see if she's using 2 lightsabers and track the movements exactly to the trailer.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm a nerd.
Balin, you can tell he's haunted by Order 66. I mean, it's traumatic.
Thrawn points that out. You must be General Balin's goal before Order 66.
Well, right,
And
because
Balin's
we know.
face, he was like,
So apparently, Balin led his own army, I guess, or a region
gotta play
of
that
clone
one
troopers.
theory song. What's the name of that song that people play during theories
I don't know.
on shorts?
Okay, well, let me just move on with this. Okay, all right. So it is confirmed that Shin, because of her age, was too young to train.
I figured.
Right. So she was not at the temple. So she knows nothing about what happened at the temple. But you find that every week he's saying something about what he went through as a Jedi. And then he also said that it's a cycle where it's the fall of the Jedi, it's the rise of the Empire. It just keeps going on and on and on. And then what he's looking to do is to end the cycle for good. How, we don't know. But I'm thinking, could it be that Shin or Balin is trying to maybe restore the Jedi Order? That's what I'm
That would
thinking.
be noble.
Yeah.
But
And
oh my god, we've been building on this whole season. If that's his goal, every time that Huyang defaults back to his old protocol, Ahsoka says the Jedi Order failed. Look where the Jedi Order got us.
yeah,
The Jedi Order's gone. So maybe this is some kind of setup and payoff. Because in almost every episode, we see Ahsoka and Huyang reminiscing of the Jedi Order. So maybe that's Balin's goal, to bring it back, and Ahsoka will have to help him to face that very same truth.
right. And you were on the right track when you first met Balin. You thought maybe he might be in a position to take over from Thrawn because he
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily want Thrawn in power, but he wants power for himself. And in order to do that, I can't see he and Balin and Thrawn working together.
You
So
know
one of
what?
them would have to, you know, outdo the other.
If he really wanted
Yeah,
to restart the Jedi Order, though, here's what he could do. If he takes out Thrawn and make a public display of it, like if you're gonna get rid of Thrawn, whether that be like getting rid of him, or like throwing him in the gulag, getting rid of him, what you should do is gather all his troops and show them that you're not afraid to throw this man down a flight of steps into the gulag and shut the door behind. Like, you just gotta make sure it's known who's powerful. And then those could be like your clone troopers. And then you and Shin can train the new order and Jedi.
mm.
Like a reverse Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and one of the things he said about the planet they're on, Peridea, he did mention that it's a land of dreams and madness, and these are stories that he was told when he was a youngster, a Padawan. He didn't know if they were true or not, like fairy tales. But something about this place speaks to him, and I think he's maybe looking to start the Jedi Order there. So, I mean, in other words,
But then
we have.
again, maybe he's not looking to even start the
Well,
Jedi
that's
Order.
just my theory. I don't
Maybe
know
he's
if it's
looking to
true or not.
start the Sith.
No, the Sith? No, he
Maybe it's the
doesn't.
Sith, maybe it's the Jedi, or maybe he's just training Force sensitives. Because if you notice, his sabers aren't like purple or orange, because those are the more neutral colors.
Well, it
Like
is orange.
it's red.
Balin?
Yeah, Balin. Balin.
No, it's something in between. It,
But I'm saying like
okay, go ahead.
purple and orange. Those are the more dark leaning colors.
True.
But his sword certainly isn't like green or blue or
True.
yellow. It's
Okay,
red. And
I
I'd
see what
like
you're
to take
saying.
a moment to note that, because even if his intentions may be pure, and even if he's still conflicted, I don't think his saber color would be red. I believe there's a saber that represents good and evil mixed into one person. I think it might be purple.
Okay. So you don't think that he has any intention on
No,
restarting the
I'm not
Jedi
saying
Order?
I don't think he has any
Okay.
intention of starting the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
I'm just saying maybe that's not his goal. I still think it's
So it's
plausible.
probably something maybe bigger than that.
I think it might honestly be a larger plan,
Okay.
like a step into a larger world.
Okay.
He's not just thinking inside the park. He's kind of going for that home run there.
I see. Okay. All
Looks
right.
like we got Ken in the chat with some answers.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Q&A. Let's see what everyone thinks. Who's in the chat? What do we have? Noel, thank you so much. Bailey. Balin really doesn't really seem like a villain. No, he's absolutely not a villain. And he's not. Yeah, he's not a villain. He's very sympathetic. He's seen a lot. He's got experience. So I think he just wants to change the way things are happening. Because, yes, at one point the Jedi were at the top of their game. And then all of a sudden there was a fall. And then the Empire rises. And we know that the Empire falls. And then at some point, the New Republic comes on board. And then they fall. And then it's the First Order. So what is it he's trying to do to prevent that from this cycle? Prevent this cycle from continuing.
By the way,
say something?
I was going to say,
Yep.
According to ultrasabers.com, the shady purple speaks to moral uncertainty, reconstruction, and recovery. Therefore, the individuals that used a purple lightsaber generally shared an affinity with both the light and dark sides of the Force.
Okay.
Now, if his lightsaber happened to be purple, then I would think to myself, oh, maybe that's something, maybe that's his goal, but it's not. And yellow seems to be reserved for the Jedi Temple Guard, and red is traditionally Sith.
Okay.
So
because of the color of his lightsaber, you think he's leaning towards the Sith?
I'm saying what we know about crystals in Star Wars is that they can the kyber crystals can determine the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the Ahsoka book, the reason she has white sabers and is the only Jedi to have white sabers is because she picked up the lightsabers of a former Inquisitor, and when she touched them, the crystals purified and they turn white.
That's right.
Just like when Siths touch a regular kyber crystal, it'll corrupt it and turn it red.
Exactly.
They're never stuck on one side. They're always moving back and forth, and yet, they can always be turned, the crystal, and yet Balin's is red, and I find that intriguing, because a kyber crystal kind of determines, the values of the owner. Green and blue sabers don't mean the same thing. Green sabers are typically used by Jedi who have strong abilities with the Force.
Makes sense.
But that doesn't mean blue has the same meaning, or purple, or yellow, or orange, or pink, or gold. These saber colors all have different meanings.
Okay. And one other thing that Balin did say to Shin is that, he is not training her to be a Jedi. He wants us to be something bigger than that. What that exactly means, I'm not sure. Let's go to Q&A and see what else. Any other thoughts from anyone in the chat? So Noel says, if he was trying to restart the Order, wouldn't he work with Luke? Luke is in a place where he needs a mentor after Yoda becomes one with the Force.
Yeah, right? That's what I was thinking. If he really wanted to restart the Order, I know he probably doesn't know Luke exists, because
probably not.
I think he probably knew that Anakin was losing it because of Padme.
Yeah.
If he knew that at all. But I don't know if he knew that he had kids, so he probably wouldn't know Luke existed, but Ahsoka could definitely give him guidance. And by the way, blue sabers represent righteous bravery and nobility. So,
well, that's a very good point. But could it be possible that Balin could still set up a Jedi Order in the galaxy that he's in currently, and Luke continued to set up his Jedi Order, or his Jedi Temple in his own galaxy? So it's possible you can have multiple Jedi throughout the galaxy setting up a Jedi Order. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. But okay, so Angela says, I don't think Balin wants to start a Jedi Order, such as the one he came from, but possibly one closer to what the Jedi were. He did say starting over, and his saber is orange, verified by Dave Filoni. Okay. All right.
Well, I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Most often force wielded by sensitives who identified as gray Jedi.
The orange lightsaber?
Yep.
Okay, so he's a gray Jedi. Right.
And since it's confirmed that it's orange, even though it looks red in most shots. It's
I
orange.
don't I
I
no
think
I don't
Shin
think it
has an
looks.
orange saber too.
Yes, they have the same color lightsaber. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that makes more sense to this.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like most Jedi who lived through Order 66 and the fall of the Jedi say the same
So
thing.
it's blood
They
armor.
made the Jedi made mistakes, and I guess what Balin's trying to do is figure out how to bring it back without making those same
So
mistakes.
you know what? This is fuel for my theory.
Okay.
Maybe my theory is that Balin wants to start his own order of Grey Jedi. Think about it. He's a Grey Jedi thanks to his saber color, and so is Shin. So maybe what'll happen is that he wants to start his own order of neutral Jedi,
Mhm.
who then go out and they train others. It doesn't necessarily have to be a rule of two, but it
No,
doesn't have to
that's
be
true.
the we're going to recruit multiple people and everybody's going to have their own Padawans type thing.
Yeah,
Like it could be a mix of both.
it could be.
Balin, like people are saying in chat, Balin isn't. He doesn't seem like a villain.
That's true.
He
That I
just
agree
seems
with
like
that.
he's got a
Absolutely.
goal he wants to accomplish, and people are in his way.
Right. Yeah, like Thrawn. Yeah. Now speaking of Thrawn, now what Balin and Shin, you okay? You need okay. What Balin and Shin doesn't know is that Thrawn is actually throwing them to the wolves, literally.
Of course he is.
Because they're Jedi. Thrawn don't like
doesn't
Jedi.
trust
He wants to get rid of all Jedi. Look, he's looping the Jedi and the Nightsisters in the same category, right? So when
I would too.
at the end of the
I
episode,
don't trust Nightsisters,
well,
frankly.
well, yeah, of course.
They've
So
proven themselves evil.
at the end of the episode, when the Nightsisters
Yes.
come back and say, "Oh well, there's another Jedi on the way," and Thrawn's like, "Well,
Alright.
really? Well, when were you going to tell me this? Like, what's
Okay.
going on?"
Eric
And then,
Elliott,
yeah,
he's
what
got
did
a
Eric
comment.
say? Yes, Eric
Okay,
said,
I don't like the expression Grey Jedi. I prefer Jizz.
"Jith." Okay, why not?
Jizz.
It's easier to say Jith.
Jizz.
Jith. Yeah.
Jizz.
So
Jizz.
I
Jizz.
I think at some point Thrawn's going to turn on
Jazz.
the
You
Nightsisters.
like jazz?
I think he's going to use them until
The
he
people
is
be like,
he is
you
ready
like
to.
jazz?
He's going to use them until he's ready to get rid of them. I think he's just tolerating them right now because they're an ally and they're giving him what he wants. But as soon as he gets back to his galaxy, all bets are off. But anyway, so we now know that he doesn't care much about Shin and Balin either. So now, could this happen? Now that you have Balin and Shin, Sabine and Ezra, stranded possibly on the same planet.
Maybe they'll strike up an alliance.
Yes, exactly. I see that
Exactly.
happening.
I don't identify
Yes.
Balin and Shin as villains in a way.
Well-
I identify them as the villains of the show, but not villains as far as personality.
Yes.
They just happen to be the main antagonists.
Right.
Elsbeth, on the other hand, she doesn't seem like she's conflicted at all.
No.
She's after power. I mean, her whole quest since Mando season 2 has been to find Thrawn and get in his good graces. Because at this point, I don't
Yes.
think Thrawn knows that Elsbeth is a descendant of the Nightsisters.
Oh, I think he does. Yeah, that's why she's there, along with the Night. Oh, I think he does. Yeah.
Well,
And
I don't think because he probably would have sent her off with Balin and Shin. I get that she's not force sensitive, but like, if he really wanted to get rid of them because he didn't trust them, he would have done so. But then again, he did keep the Knights. I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, I think her goal is to resurrect Thrawn, get in his good graces,
Yeah.
and then lead alongside him. And once she feels powerful enough, get rid of him.
No. What you're talking about? Morgan getting rid of?
No, I meant
the other way around.
no,
Okay.
I'm talking about Thrawn.
Thrawn, right.
I think Thrawn's going to get rid of her eventually.
Yes,
Because he'll
absolutely.
find no use for her after he's able to take off.
Absolutely.
And even though Morgan Elsbeth has plans in her head,
Yeah.
like, I'll be right beside Thrawn throughout all of his greatest victories, Thrawn will be like, well, I no longer happen to need you.
Yeah.
Or the Night Sister Coven. So he's probably going to get rid of them.
Okay. Let's go to Q&A. Let's see what we have.
All right, who's up first? The Bombad cast. What are we expecting for next week? Next week, I think Sabine, Ezra, Balin, and Shin will strike up a truce, but we gotta get a good fight scene. Like, I think what's gonna happen is maybe even Ezra's built his. Oh, I was about to say maybe Ezra built his own lightsaber, but that's not possible because he doesn't have a kyber crystal.
Well, Okay, go ahead. Let you
But
finish.
I think maybe what will happen is we'll get an epic fight between Ezra, Sabine, Balin, and Shin, and none of them are going to die. Then eventually, Sabine and Ezra are going to stop. Then probably Sabine to be like, "Listen, wait, we already have Ezra. Don't you know Thrawn is playing you like pawns in his game?
Yeah,
You know, once you are no longer useful, he'll try to get rid of you too. And even though you think you're powerful, you are, but you aren't. Thrawn has an army full of men that are just waiting for you. You guys gotta stop. You can join us. And I think maybe if you join us, we can win.
yeah,
And then they're not joining without a fight, but like if you can't beat them, join them, so they're kind of forced into it. And then afterwards, they end up biting Thrawn. Balin gets to start his own, kind of tiny little group where he trains Shin, and then eventually Shin picks up another Padawan, and they each start picking up even more Padawans.
yeah.
I don't know, like a tiny little coven.
What?
The only
Yeah,
issue I'm grappling with is I don't know if we can let that happen. Like I don't know if we can allow Balin and Shin to survive because it seems like this
hmm.
is honestly kind of dependent on their goal. Like if his goal is to start up a second Jedi Order,
Hmm.
then we can't really allow them to survive for that to happen because we know it doesn't. Like by the time of the Rise of Skywalker, Jedi aren't back. Rey is literally
Well, okay,
the
but
last Jedi.
don't forget, Keith. So we're talking. We're in two different galaxies now, right? So this is
It's
a
the
brand
same
new
galaxy though.
Well, I mean,
It's the same timeline. It's just a different place.
different part of the galaxy. Okay,
But I'm just thinking, at this time, Luke has already started training his own Padawans. I'm not expecting Balin to know that.
okay.
I'm just thinking that's not going to be helpful. And we also know that Rey is the last Jedi, and then Luke's group of Padawans ends up, not making it out thanks to Ben Solo.
Hmm.
So I think that maybe if that's their goal, then they aren't surviving. But if it's not, there's a 49-51 chance that that isn't his goal. His favor. But I'm believing that maybe they will survive.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any need to kill off Balin and Shin. They seem like good characters. We could even get some more development with them later.
Well, I get the impression that Balin may just want to stay on Peridea. And I think he's okay with not going back to the galaxy that he came
Oh,
from
that's what I was
originally.
thinking.
Right. Okay. So I
He
think
doesn't
Balin.
seem to have much of a mission, honestly. Like we heard they were mercenaries,
Yeah.
but we never saw that. Oh, they've been doing so and so thing. They got so and so family members who are being trained. You know what I do wonder though?
What's that?
What if Shin's parents were caught up in Order 66? Because we know she's not old enough to be around during Order 66,
Well,
but what if her parents are survivors of Order 66?
funny you should mention
And
that.
then they end up getting captured by the Empire. Or, even better, they escaped in the prison raid on Lothal that Ezra and Ezra's parents staged, and Shin doesn't even know it yet.
Hold that thought. I want to go
I
back
don't
to
know, I'm
Q and
just
A.
trying to tie up a bunch of
Yeah,
threads
but
here.
hold that thought. I want to talk about
But they're different
Shin's
kinds of
parents.
wolves. So
Okay, what do we have? We have Ken. I wonder if there's a portal to the actual world between worlds on that planet.
now I'll say something. I
To
don't believe.
this question.
Yeah, to this
Okay.
question,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't believe so because if there was another portal, I feel like Palpatine and his men would have scoured the galaxy looking for that.
That is a good point. That is
Yeah,
a good point,
and even if
especially
they
since
didn't
the one in
scour the
Lothal
galaxy, like the one on Lothal's
is
been
destroyed.
destroyed.
Right, they would look for a portal somewhere else.
Nobody else has thought to
Yeah.
look for one, and I don't think it's necessary either.
Yeah.
Like we don't really have a reason to go into the world between worlds at this point in time because we already know we can't bring back Kanan.
No. No. Yeah. The only thing that concerns me about going back to Scotty's question about next episode, once Ahsoka gets to this planet, right, and we know that the Purgles unfortunately may not make it, they need to find a way back. So how are they going to get back to their galaxy? So we know Thrawn
You
has
know
the
what?
ship. Yeah.
The Chimaera is the only way off.
So would they have
But
to store?
crafty plan here.
Okay.
Crafty plan.
Yeah.
What if Balin and Shin they pretend to capture Sabine, Ezra, and Ahsoka, and they hold on to all their lightsabers so that Thrawn doesn't get them and lock them away. Then once, and this is assuming that they join forces, then once they're en route, they can get their sabers back, and then they can fight off Thrawn, and then maybe Balin and Shin escape and like take an escape pod back to Peridea and just stay
So you're
there.
saying they're going to stow away somehow
Yeah,
on the
I'm
Chimera?
saying they're gonna get captured by. They're gonna get intentionally captured, and
Okay.
then that since that's the only way of ever getting off that planet. Because if the Perkil don't make it, and I feel like this is kind of a plot device we're using
Mhm.
here,
Right.
so that there has to be some conflict. The only way is to get on the Chimera, and if they get on and cause a riot, then there is no way that even if they join forces, that is 5 against at least 100 stormtroopers right there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
They
mean, these
right. Yeah.
clone troopers
I.
were spotting those Jedi.
Mhm.
So I feel like this would be no different.
Okay.
I mean, they're dumber, they have worse
Yeah.
aim, but I feel like if you have 100 blaster shots fired at 5 moving targets, at least one of those is gonna hit somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
the only thing that I don't know what, which is great because I don't know what's going to happen next, but I just don't see how they're going to, they as in Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra are going to
yeah,
return
they're not
back to
getting
their,
anywhere unless they get
yeah.
on the Chimera. They probably want to get captured. It's the path of least resistance, honestly, because if they go on with the fight, like I said, they're outnumbered. But if they go on getting captured,
Hmm.
then it's
Very
super
interesting.
easy because Thrawn will have his guard up.
Okay.
He'll have his guard up and he'll expect it, which is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And maybe there'll be a fight, like, in A New Hope, when
Oh,
there's that fight scene in the hallway and then they duck into the trash compactor.
yeah. Gotcha.
Something like that, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I think that's gonna have to happen because otherwise there's no shot at like getting off that planet.
Okay. Any more Q&A? Let's see what we have. Eric says, what if Ezra made a lightsaber made from the Night Sister magic?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. I don't think you can make sabers from Nightsister magic because Nightsister magic is not kyber crystals. Kyber crystals are what power these sabers. So.
Right. And I don't think Ezra would have that kind of force power to actually create a saber using the Night Sisters force
Yeah,
powers.
because
Yeah.
Ezra's not a Nightsister, and
Correct. Yeah.
he wouldn't particularly be inclined to alliance with one. So I don't think he'd be able to make one.
Hmm. This is interesting. So Angela says, I think Ezra is going to prove that he no longer needs a lightsaber, that he has grown powerful enough without it.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I feel like even though he has certainly grown powerful,
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe that he's strong enough to just be fighting here without a lightsaber. I mean, Anakin is the strongest Jedi we know, and he still fought with the saber.
Yeah. I mean, Ezra is a Jedi, and the lightsaber is a Jedi's weapon. So I'm certain that he would want to continue to use a lightsaber.
And
Now,
losing a saber hasn't stopped him before. He made a new one back in season 3 when his old one got destroyed by Maul
uh,
in Malachor.
gotcha. Yeah. Ken says, I think Rose's comment, that's how we're going to win. Not by fighting what we hate, by saving what we love, will be on display in this
Yeah,
series.
remember that when she sabotaged Finn
Yes,
from
we do.
sacrificing and saving all the rebels
Yes,
and
we do
keeping Luke
remember that,
alive?
Keith. Okay. All right.
Like honestly,
Keep it
I'm
short.
glad because we got to keep Finn on this side of the living.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like that was the most.
Thank you, Ken, for joining us. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time for you to board the inflatable Falcon.
Can I say something about, you
Hi.
mentioned something about Shin's parents.
Yes.
Do you think Balin might be her father? I get this paternal sense between the two of them. You know,
Maybe it's
he
a-
knows he knows Shin from a very, very young age.
Yeah. I'll
So
tell you what.
could he not be her father.
Maybe it's like an Indian short round type thing. Like maybe he found Shin like deserted and left behind on some planet,
Okay.
and he like an
Yeah.
Odin and Loki situation.
Right.
He found her deserted on some planet, and he thought, you know what? It's a shame to just let this child sit here because she'll die if nobody helps her.
Okay.
So let me help her.
Okay.
Or maybe he just met Shin when she was like a teenager, and she decided, I want to go with you. My parents are awful, and then she left.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm glad that's not me. I got the best parents. I love you guys, mom and dad.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's very nice of you to say that. Yeah. Okay.
Love you too.
Yeah, I know.
Aw.
I just, maybe it's because of Ray Stevens' performance. Like he's just very paternal. Which
Or,
yes, or.
or.
Yeah. There's look. If they are, I think that'd be great. I think that'd be even more of an emotional stakes for them if something
Maybe
were to
Shin's
happen
his
to
cousin.
one of them. You know. So I don't know. All right.
Maybe Shin's his cousin.
What do you think of Ezra's return? Oh, we couldn't wait. It was fantastic. I broke down in tears. I did. No, I watched it a couple of times, and it's the music that's just so powerful. That theme that's played when they're hugging each other, it's just it got me. So yeah, I loved it. All right. So as we look at any last minute comments, just wanted to bring up if you've been watching our episodes the last few weeks, we are talking about Colored River. And so,
By the way, let me ask you something. What was Merrick?
okay. What do you mean?
Like,
Wasn't he? Oh, you mean the one that was destroyed by Sabine, Ahsoka,
yeah,
the Inquisitor?
yeah.
What was he? I think he was just something that was created by the Nightsisters.
Tear gas.
Tear gas.
He was made of tear gas.
Is that what Wikipedia is
Yeah,
saying?
I mean, no, that's not what Wikipedia say.
Oh, well, who's saying that?
Me.
Tear gas?
Look, he just kind of disappeared, and everyone just stared at him.
Yeah, but you said,
like, ah!
remember you said that, okay, well, that dust or whatever,
yeah.
when he
You weren't
it was
supposed
green.
to take that serious.
No, but I agree with you
It was a
because
quip.
you mentioned that,
It was
when
probably Nightsister magic.
yes, right. So yeah, I think it.
I was making a quip.
Oh, is that okay? That was a quip. Okay, so you interrupted me, about Colored River, so you can make a quip.
Sorry, father.
All right. So, final days, okay? Actor and content creator Catherine LaSalle, a friend to the show, and actor-writer Olivia Celine are launching a Seeding Spark fundraising campaign to produce an independent short film called Colored River. The tagline is, conflicted by a violent past and captive to a dark family history, a writer is driven to unnatural lengths to complete her final piece, okay? So if you want to help Catherine and Olivia reach their goal, support them to get the film greenlighted. You can give them access to press coverage, help them fulfill their dream of bringing to life the amazing works of super talented artists of color. To donate, please go to coloredriverfilm.com and choose the amount you're willing to give. That's it. Simple enough.
We donated.
Yes, we did. And we are big fans of Catherine LaSalle, and when she came to us to talk about her new project, we were on board. So check it out for yourself. Just go to coloredriver.com, see if that's something that you'd be interested in giving to, donating.
We have a QR code up?
Yes, we do have a QR code as well. All right. Any final comments? This has been fun. We had a good group tonight. We have. I had Chris Ryan's on Honest to Claude. Okay. All right. Question. Do you think... I'm not sure what that meant, Eric.
It's
question.
His show, Honest to Claude.
Oh, I never heard of that. What is Honest to Claude?
So you know that blob thingy from The Rise of Skywalker that was friends with Snap?
I don't know.
Until he got
Snap Wexley.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
That's Claude.
Okay, I don't remember that character, but okay. So Alex says, do you think we'll see Zeb before Ahsoka ends season 1?
Honestly, at this point, I don't know how we would factor in. I was hoping maybe we'd see him when the X-wing fleet pulled up
Yeah.
on Ceatos, but I don't think that's happening because there's no segue for that to
Now
happen.
here's the thing. Now Alex might be onto something. I was thinking, well,
But like
how?
we got Ezra, we got Sabine,
Okay.
we got Hera, we got Chopper,
Yeah.
and we have Jason.
Yeah.
I think he might be like a new member of the
Mhm.
team, and we have Ahsoka. Ahsoka wasn't really like an official member, but we have 4 out of the 6 official members, or 5 now. The only missing puzzle piece is Zeb, and we already saw him in live action. It's like they're preparing us for this.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say something that I thought maybe that's not going to work. I was
Speak your
wondering if there
piece.
was the New Republic was probably going to create some type of um, another hyperspace ring because these rings are being produced on their facility. So maybe they can create another hyperspace ring to go out and find. Yeah, nah, I don't think that's going to
Find
work because they
Ezra.
have no. Well, to find Ezra and Sabine and
Yeah,
Ahsoka,
but the thing
but
is, I don't
that's
think
going to be
long
too
range.
difficult.
I don't
Yeah, because
think
they have no idea where they
Firstly,
are.
I don't think long range communications work
Yeah,
for there. Secondly,
yeah,
the map was destroyed, and
yeah,
even if it wasn't, it was left behind on Ceatos, meaning
yeah.
that the only way for them to get the map back is if they actually get off the planet. You know
Yeah.
what? So let me.
Well,
No,
Alex, I don't
wait.
know. To answer your question, I don't think
Dad,
we're going to
wait.
see Zeb.
If
Yeah.
Ahsoka comes out the Purgil, she'll still have her ship. I
Yes,
just
but
realized
her
that.
ship would not have the power, I think, to make it back to the other galaxy, right? That's why she needed the Purgle.
Yeah, I know, but maybe she
I
can
mean, she's
make.
going to have to
Maybe
hitch a
she can
ride on
make.
another Purgle.
Maybe she can make pit stops on another planet, fuel up, get some energy for the ship, and go back.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
you could just fly
I
till
mean,
you
she's
reach
going through
Coruscant.
hyperspace. She's going at a very long distance. I don't even know if
I
the
know.
ship is going to have enough fuel to
That's
even
what I'm
do that.
saying. Just make
Yeah,
small jumps,
smaller jumps, right?
grab fuel,
Yeah, stop at
and
the
keep jumping.
service station,
Yeah, go to the Kmart.
Sunoco.
Go to the Kmart,
Right.
fuel up, grab
Yeah.
some snacks,
Right.
grab some Mantel mix.
There you go. Right.
Get back on the road.
Alex,
Some
the
Skittles
reason why I don't think we'll see Zeb is I don't see how they're going to work
or
in
Spacels.
in the New Republic now that we're
Yeah,
now
they
invested
had an
in this
opportunity,
other galaxy.
and we
Yeah.
didn't get to.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, Keith, where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, our socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Father's Son Galaxy. Website, fathersongalaxy.com. Check out our socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Did I say that already?
No.
Yeah. My bad.
Okay.
Patreon page, patreon.com/fathersongalaxy. Merch store, fathersongalaxy.myspreadshop.com. Check that out. Also, Colored River, please donate. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. If there are any final comments, we'll look out for them. But if not, um, uh, I'm having the best time watching this series. It is Dave Filoni. I mean, we could sit here and talk about Dave Filoni for another hour, but he knows what he's doing. Okay. I think we're convinced too. He knows what he's doing. Because we don't know what's going on doesn't mean that he doesn't know what's going on. Of course he does. So we'll just wait. Alex says 7-Eleven. Oh, thank Purgle heaven. Oh, thank heaven for Purgle for 7-Eleven. There you go.
Oh, thank heaven for the Purgils and for 7
Thank Purgle heaven for 7-Eleven. Gotcha. Yeah. So
They about to go to Purg 11.
all right. Episodes 7 and 8. Here we come. All right. So thank you, everyone. If there's
We're coming on top of the Purgil.
That's right. We'll get there. Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone. We're done here. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching us live now, or you're going to listen or watch us later, I hope you enjoy. Until next time, take care